Hello, everyone. Our names are Sarah Musa and Emily Dixon. We are senior psychology majors in the Social Identity Theory and Health Lab at Texas Tech University.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for showing interest in this project. We are excited to talk to you about our research on how dehumanization of African Americans and police officers affects perceptions of the social justice movements Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, and All Lives Matter.
The Black Lives Matter movement began in 2013 in response to the acquittal of George Zimmerman after the murder of Trayvon Martin. Black Lives Matter is a political and social justice movement in opposition to racially motivated police brutality. You may remember in June of 2020, Black Lives Matter turned into a surge of large nationwide protests after the murder of George Floyd. Blue Lives Matter is a counter movement that emerged in 2014 in support of law enforcement, arguing that the murder of police officers should be considered a hate crime. All Lives Matter began in criticism of Black Lives Matter, advocating for racial unity. Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter are associated with dismissing or denying the systemic roots of racism and negating the issues raised by Black Lives Matter. Dehumanization of African Americans or police officers may explain opposition to or support of the movements that attribute or deny protections to those targeted groups. People may deny racial groups protections or rights when they dehumanize those group members. So we proposed that those who dehumanize African Americans are more likely to justify violence against them and may be more supportive of the All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter movements, whereas those who assign more humanists to African Americans may be more supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement. Additionally, those who humanize police officers may be more supportive of the All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter movements and less supportive of Black Lives Matter.
So we had 455 participants that we asked to indicate their support for the Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, and All Lives Matter movements. Next, they rated African Americans and police officers on dehumanization scales designed to include the domains of animalistic and mechanistic dehumanization. Participants rated their agreement from 1 strongly disagree to 7 strongly agree to all scale items. Our results supported our hypotheses. People who dehumanized African Americans indicated less support for the Black Lives Matter movement and more support for the Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter movements, which can be seen in Table 1. People who dehumanized police officers indicated more support for the Black Lives Matter movement and less support for the Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter movement, as seen in Table 2. So these results suggest that those who dehumanize a group tend to oppose the social justice movement that is aimed to provide rights and protections to that group. This work highlights the importance of considering group perceptions in relation to support for social movements. And these results could affect policy change and support for legislation surrounding the issue of racially motivated police violence. This research is important because recognizing the relationship between dehumanization and support for social movements can lead to more legal rights for these racially marginalized groups, thus leading to a more equal and just society. We invite future research to explore political affiliation in relation to dehumanization and support for social movements.
So once again, we want to thank you for attending this presentation, and please feel free to contact us about any questions or comments you have.